The Stellar Empire had ruled the galactic arm for over 7,000 years. Its fleets were legends, its admirals demigods, and its enemies either crushed or scattered into forgotten nebulae. The Empire's ships were massive things, cathedrals of war, bristling with plasma lances, gravita cannons, and shields that could withstand the collapse of a small star. Every species in the Empire knew their place. Humans, in particular, were a recent addition, a loud, ambitious species from a wet, violent little planet called Earth. They had been granted a single trade sector and a few scout vessels. Nothing more. That was the mistake. The trouble began when the Empire's third border fleet encountered an unknown contact near the Virage Nebula. The fleet was commanded by High Admiral Xylos Tharn, a reptilian noble from the Vorn dynasty. He had 47 capital ships, 200 support craft, and a reputation for absolute ruthlessness. The unknown contact was small, barely 200 meters long, dark gray, with no visible weapon ports or energy signatures. It drifted like a piece of space junk, but its trajectory was too precise, a derelict. Asked First Officer Vex, his mandibles clicking. "No," Xylos said, studying the holographic display. "That's a combat ship. Look at the hull geometry. Every angle is wrong for cargo. Those are radar deflecting facets. And their thermal vents opening and closing in a pattern. She's alive." The ship's IFF finally resolved. Human. Designation: Odysseus. Class: none listed. The Empire's databases contain nothing about such a vessel. Humans had only been granted permission to build system defense corvettes, not interstellar warships. This thing was 3 times larger than any authorized human craft. "Open channel," Xylos commanded. A human face appeared on the main screen. Young. Female. Short dark hair. Calm eyes. Her uniform was simple, no medals, no ornate colors. Just a patch with a stylized Earth and the word UNS. "This is Captain Alara Ven of the United Nations ship Odysseus," she said. "We are on a peaceful patrol in neutral space. State your intent." Xylos felt a flash of anger. A human captain addressing him as an equal. Absurd. "This is High Admiral Xylos Tharn of the Stellar Empire. You are in violation of Imperial territorial claims. The Virage Nebula falls within our sovereign space. Power down your engines and prepare for boarding." Captain Ven did not flinch. "With respect, Admiral, the Virage Nebula was designated neutral by the Galactic Concordat 20 years ago. Your claim is not recognized. We will continue our patrol." The bridge of the Imperial flagship went silent. No one spoke to a High Admiral like that. No one. Xylos leaned forward, his yellow eyes narrowing. "Human, you have 10 seconds to comply. After that, we will open fire." "Understood," Ven said, and closed the channel. For a moment, Xylos was too stunned to give the order. Then he raised a claw. "Target that ship." Full plasma lance salvo. Fire. The Third Fleet's cannons lit up the void. 47 plasma lances, each capable of melting a small moon, converged on the Odysseus. The human ship did not try to run. It did not raise shields, at least, not any shields the Empire could detect. Instead, it did something impossible. It moved, not with acceleration, not with thrusters. It simply was somewhere else. One moment it was in the center of the plasma storm. The next, it was 1,000 kilometers to port, completely unharmed. The Imperial gunners stared at their screens. The plasma lances had passed through empty space. What was that? First Officer Vex whispered. Xylos slammed his fist on the armrest. "It's a trick. Some kind of emergency jump drive. Reload and fire again." This time, scatter pattern. The second salvo was wider, designed to cover the area the human ship might flee to. But the Odysseus didn't flee. It accelerated hard. The Empire sensors registered acceleration that would turn a Vorn crew into paste. But humans, it seemed, were built differently. Their ship didn't just go fast. It went fast while spinning, rolling, and emitting a cloud of reflective chaff that blinded Imperial targeting computers. Then the Odysseus fired back. The weapon was not plasma, not a laser, not a missile. It was a thin, invisible beam that the Empire sensors detected only as a sudden spike in exotic particles. The beam struck the nearest Imperial frigate, the Swift Justice, and something strange happened. The frigate's shields didn't collapse. They just stopped working. The power grid died. The engines went cold. The crew's lights flickered off. The ship became a drifting hulk in seconds, completely intact but utterly inert. What did they do? Vex demanded. Systemic neural disruption, Xylos growled, reading the damage report. They didn't destroy the ship. They killed its ability to function. Every circuit, every power conduit, every control line fried by a cascading electromagnetic resonance. That's not a weapon. That's a surgical tool. The Odysseus was already engaging the second frigate. This time, the human ship didn't bother with the beam. It launched a single projectile, a small, guided missile that looked primitive compared to Imperial ordnance. The missile didn't explode. Instead, it latched onto the frigate's hull and emitted a high-frequency vibration that propagated through the ship's structure. Within seconds, every weld, bolt, and seam on the frigate began to resonate. The ship didn't break apart. It simply unscrewed itself. Panels fell off. Antennae drooped. The main cannon detached and floated away. The crew was unharmed, but their ship was now a pile of loose components. Xylos stared. His tactical display showed 47 Imperial ships against one human corvette. The human had already disabled 2, without a single casualty. This was not a battle. This was a dismantling. All ships, he ordered, maximum range. Do not let that thing get close. Use kinetic kill vehicles from 10,000 kilometers. The fleet obeyed. Thousands of hypersonic tungsten rods streaked toward the Odysseus. At that range, even light-speed weapons would take time to arrive. But the human ship did something else impossible. It released a cloud of tiny drones, each no larger than a human fist, that spread out in a sphere around the vessel. The drones emitted overlapping energy fields that bent space itself. The kinetic rods, traveling at a significant fraction of light speed, hit those fields and were gently deflected. They shot past the Odysseus in harmless arcs, missing by kilometers. Gravitic lensing. Xylos breathed. They're bending spacetime with micro-singularities. That's not possible. That requires the power of a star. But the Odysseus had no star. It had a human-made reactor that the Empire's spies had dismissed as primitive fusion. Clearly, the spies had been lied to, or the humans had been hiding their true capabilities for decades. Maybe centuries. Captain Ven's voice came over the open channel again. Admiral Tharn, we have disabled 2 of your ships without loss of life. We do not wish to escalate. Withdraw from the nebula, and this incident ends here. Xylos felt his pride war with his tactical sense. His pride was enormous. You are 1 ship. I have 45 remaining. You cannot stop us all. Watch us, Ven said. The Odysseus stopped playing. It unfolded. Hull panels slid back, revealing rows of launch cells. Dozens of missiles emerged, but not ordinary missiles. These were intelligence swarms, each one a self-guided drone with its own miniature resonance emitter. They flew in complex patterns, communicating with each other, creating a mesh network of disruption fields. The Imperial ships tried to shoot them down, but the drones were too small, too fast, and too numerous. They swarmed the nearest battlecruiser and, in perfect synchronization, emitted a single pulse. The battlecruiser's crew felt nothing. But the ship's artificial gravity failed. Its inertial dampeners failed. Its life support rerouted to emergency mode. The ship didn't explode. It just became a very expensive, very confused metal box. The crew floated in 0G, unharmed, but helpless. Another swarm disabled the destroyer's propulsion. Another shut down a carrier's launch base. Within 3 minutes, 12 Imperial ships were dead in space. Not destroyed, disabled. The humans were winning without killing anyone. Xylos realized the horrifying truth. The humans didn't want to destroy the Empire's ships. They wanted to humiliate them. They wanted to show that the mighty Stellar Empire's technology was obsolete, that their weapons were useless, that their tactics were centuries behind. Every disabled ship was a message: you cannot touch us, and we can break you whenever we choose. Retreat, Xylos whispered. Sir, Vex asked. I said retreat. Xylos roared. All ships, emergency jump to the Zeta Reticuli rally point, now. The Imperial fleet turned and fled, their pride shattered, their ships leaking atmosphere and dignity. The Odysseus did not pursue. It simply returned to its patrol route, as if nothing had happened, but something had happened. And the Stellar Empire would never be the same. News of the incident spread faster than light. The Empire's propagandists tried to spin it as a minor skirmish, a tactical withdrawal, a temporary setback. But the sensor recordings leaked. Every species in the Empire saw the truth. A single human ship, barely 200 meters long, had dismantled a fleet of 47 Imperial warships without firing a single lethal shot. The humans hadn't just won. They had made the Empire look foolish. The Imperial Senate demanded answers. High Admiral Xylos Tharn was summoned to the capital world of Vorn Prime, where the Senate's 7 ruling dynasties sat in judgment. The chamber was a vast amphitheater carved from living crystal, filled with representatives from 1,000 worlds. Xylos stood in the center, his scales pale with stress.